Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back to OC Power Players, where I interview some of the most successful people in Orange County. I'm Danny Flores, your host, and today's honored guest is Angie Weeks, zooming in from San Onofre. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you for having me on your show today, Danny. I appreciate that. It's an honor to be here.
Welcome. Yes. So Angie is a techie realtor who has a dream: help humans become financially free through home ownership. Angie just doesn't sell homes. She created a crowdfunding platform to help source down payments. VowToSave is a one-of-a-kind home buying website anyone can register for. It helps family, friends, family agents, and lenders work together to close the gap on down payment funds. VowToSave can be a creative benefit. Companies offer employees a wedding registry or just the way home. Everyone deserves to own a property. Previously involved with the Leadership for Young Professionals Network, YPN, Orange County Board of Realtors, and NAWRB. These leadership positions enabled her to help launch her vision for a major community event hosted at Chapman University, OC Home Fair Homeownership Day. Hundreds of lives have changed through this event's influence. After nearly 10 years of local success, Homeownership Day went nationwide and global, educating people on how to make smart decisions in real estate. She loves specializing in Orange County home sales. She uses drones, staging, her marketing background, and best photographers to get listings sold for top dollar. She is always serving sellers, first-time buyers, move-up buyers, Airbnb, investors, and flippers with a smile. The Ask Angie team provides first-class service to everyone using their latest technology. She also helps Orange County relocation clients with daily listed update emails and identifying quality properties. Wow, Angie, thanks so much for coming and spending time with us, sharing what you actually do and how you help homeowners become homeowners. Tell us about your crowdfunding site and how that works.
Oh, thank you, Danny. The crowdfunding site is called VowToSave. And basically, I identified this need early on in real estate that people have a hard time saving. I don't know if you know anybody like that, but the biggest kind of problem when somebody comes to me about the desire to purchase a home is they don't have that down payment money. And so I thought, well, why don't we create a platform that allows everybody that they have a relationship with to potentially come and donate and help them to get to homeownership faster? And that's what VowToSave does. It's, in essence, this vehicle that anyone can use. They don't have to be working with me as the real estate agent. They can work with any real estate agent or lender, and they have the access to this platform, which then connects with their PayPal, and friends and family can come and donate to help them get to a down payment quicker and into homeownership. So that was something that I'm just really passionate about, that and helping normal people take that next step into what I feel is a greater realm of just life.
Right. No, that is so awesome. I've personally never heard of it, but it's got to get out there, right? It's got to get out there.
Yes.
Especially like you mentioned at wedding registries, when people are getting married, that's when they're starting life together.
Yes.
And many times they don't have money to save for a house, and potentially they can use that to get gifts instead of getting actual gifts, so that they can get that much closer to homeownership.
Exactly. And one of the other problems that I find quite frequently is people collect so much stuff early in their life that they don't feel like they could fit into a one bedroom condo or something like that. So I was really trying to help them own real estate sooner on their lifeline
Mm-hmm.
and not get bogged down by all the stuff so that they have to pay a higher price tag for their property. Because if you need three bedrooms, then that property is going to cost you more than the
Right.
property that is one bedroom or two bedrooms, obviously.
Right. And if you need that third bedroom just to save stuff, so now you're paying extra for storage of stuff you might not even be using because if you haven't,
Exactly.
you know how the rule is, right? If you haven't used it in the last year, you probably don't need it.
Right. And I have definitely found that to be true in my life.
Right, right. I think we all fall under that.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
in in in
Yeah.
in our own experiences, just buying stuff, and then all of a sudden we're like, darn it, where did all this stuff come from?
Exactly. And where am I going to store all this? And then you have people paying hundreds of dollars a month for a storage unit and all these
Yeah.
types of things. So if there's any advice I can give to anyone out there, it's live with less. You can do it.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, so that's a big one of the big takeaways here.
Yes.
Now, tell us how YPN how that influenced you and how young professionals, whether in this profession or in any profession, can get involved and how that could potentially help them propel their professional career.
Absolutely. YPN Young Professionals Network was something that was designed by the leadership at the National Association of Realtors because they noticed a gap in
Hmm.
real estate professionals joining into leadership and helping. And obviously, real estate professionals help with so many different things when it comes to the community and working with, political and all kinds of different aspects that they needed more leaders out there. So I was the chair of Orange County's YPN and I believe it was 2011. And working together with that group of
Hmm.
just smart, on top of it individuals, we helped to formulate all kinds of different things that helped our board of association and helped to bring awareness out into the community. We did a Habitat for Humanity build and things like that. So it's a really great group. The particular one that I was involved with is real estate specific. So you do need to have your real estate license or be involved in some way with real estate in order to
Hmm.
join. But there's YPN chapters all over California. And if anybody is listening now that's in real estate or thinking about getting into real estate, it's a great way to just network with other like minds and people that want to do more than just close deals. They want to make a difference out in the community.
Right? No, that is awesome because sometimes we get into a business or even like the young professionals coming out of college, getting in, and you just don't know which way to turn, what to do,
Right.
and some guidance could potentially help propel your career and save years in trying to figure it out on your own.
Absolutely. It's an inspiring group to be involved with. And I would encourage anybody that's getting started. And they say it's not age specific, but like I told you earlier, I feel as if I've aged out of the system, but it's more
Hmm.
like passing the torch, right, Danny?
Right.
It's, now I'm on to other things and working home ownership day on a national level and international level. And, we all just and it's interesting to see some of the people that I was in leadership with where they have went in the community and
Hmm.
what they're doing today. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, tell us a little bit more about Homeownership Day and its purpose.
sure. Well, it's basic homeownership day is not to necessarily help you buy real estate today. Homeownership day, I tell all my past clients, it's something that you want to attend on a yearly basis, almost like a yearly tune up for you
Hmm.
to learn about what's the latest happenings in the real estate market and
Mm-hmm.
new offerings. It's a group of professionals that is curated by me every year that I bring together, and they'll speak on various subjects. Sometimes it's about purchasing property in a different state. Sometimes it's about owning land. Sometimes it's about multi-units or integrating cryptocurrency with buying property, all types of different subjects, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
might be, kind of like hot buttons for that particular year. We try
Right.
to bring those experts and those speakers into Home Ownership Day so that people that own property can understand all the different ways that they can maximize their property. It's a great thing to own a property and just pay your mortgage, right? But what
Mm-hmm.
if you could learn how you could utilize that property and the mortgage you have been paying to get the next mortgage and the next mortgage and build a portfolio and generational wealth for your family? And that's a lot of what the basis of Home Ownership Day is. Because if I sit there and try to talk to you, for example, on this podcast for an hour about how to build this, you know, massive portfolio and generational wealth, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to make your head spin. But if you
Right.
get these little bites every year and you take in a little bit every year, then some of the things that I talk about or the experts talk about on the first year won't seem so confusing or tough for you to do once you start to hear about that on a regular basis and be familiar with these different concepts like 1031 exchange and,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
flipping or things like that. And so
Right. Right.
just trying to educate people that real estate is a vehicle to take you wherever you want to go, and the path
Mm-hmm.
looks
Mm-hmm.
different for everyone. And that's okay. And kind of tailoring the path of what is it that you're passionate about and how could you integrate those passions into your real estate portfolio and make a difference for yourself and others.
Right. No, that's really good because many people, like you said, maybe they just think about buying a home,
Right.
yet they don't realize that if they tapped into the world of real estate just a little bit more, there's many different opportunities to help solidify, say, your income when you retire, build
Mhm.
build passive income, build a family legacy. I mean, the possibilities are just basically infinite.
Exactly. And you just mentioned a hot button too, is like retirement. So there's a
Hmm.
whole strategy and way that you can work your property around your retirement so but that you're successful, because a lot of people have this thought in their head, okay, I'm going to work, I'm going to work, I'm going to work, and then I'm going to retire, and then I'm going to go buy my retirement house. Well, you should buy your retirement house the year before you retire so that you still have that income showing so that you get a
Hmm.
better interest rate on your loan,
Right.
and just little things like that that society doesn't teach us unless you really dig in or work in
Right. Right.
conjunction with experts in ways that just doing something, a little bit different can
Right.
make a huge impact on your future.
And here's the thing that you just don't know, right?
No,
You don't know. So
don't know
it's
it,
getting
don't know.
educated and understanding the possibilities that you didn't think of just because you're not in that specific part of the business.
Exactly. And I mean, I've been in this business for over 20 years and I still learn something every year at Homeownership Day.
Right,
Because
right.
it's like surround yourself with people who are smarter than you and all boats rise.
Right, exactly. And then what was relevant information the year before, something new could have come up that you would
Exactly.
never know, even if you know a lot of things, because it's new, maybe new laws changed, maybe new platforms were created, or
Yes.
just something, right? You just don't know.
Is so true. And a perfect example for this year is last year in Southern California, we were in a seller's market And this year, Orange County, Southern California has moved to a buyer's market. So that's a totally different way of handling real estate, of handling offers, transactions. The whole process is like flipped on its ear. And so some of these agents out there that have been selling real estate for 10 years, we've been in a seller's market for literally over a decade. And so now there's a good percentage of people who are going to have to learn their job completely over again in this buyer's market and learn how to function in that. And the buyers and sellers get caught in the crossfire as well because they don't know. Sellers get the memo a little bit late about the market changes, and buyers also do as well. And so you're working with all these people that are kind of in this transitionary time, and how can we help them so that they can have a better experience? Because if you have a bad experience on your first home and you get foreclosed on, I have personally experienced that market. It is not easy to bring those people back that have been burned so bad by something that's happened to them.
Right.
We want to educate them so that they're equipped and they make smart decisions in real estate. And that's ultimately what Homeownership Day is for you. Make smart decisions in real estate.
Now, for an audience who doesn't know, can you explain a little bit about what a buyer's market is and what that looks like?
Sure. Basically, a buyer's market is kind of defined as when property inventory will sit on the market for 90 days or more. That's kind of like your slice line. It's a seller's market if properties tend to sell anywhere from 2 to 90 days. We call that a seller's market. Once you go past 90 days and the time on the market is 91 days, now we're in a buyer's market. And what that means is basically that buyers have more choices and opportunities than they would have in a seller's market. In a seller's market, the buyers are kind of just climbing over each other to get the property. We have a lack of inventory, and we have more buyers and not enough properties. Now we have still a tighter inventory than we would like to have in Southern California, which is a trend for years. But we have more than we have had inventory wise in the last 5 years. And the average days on the market are currently over 90. So that's something that gives the buyers a little more capability to negotiate with the sellers on things like price or terms or interest rates buy downs, things like that you don't really see in a seller's market, because in a seller's market, they just have to basically get the deal, right? They have to beat out 5 other buyers. And now they might be the only offer on the table, which means that there's some more negotiation capabilities. So it's a good time for people to consider coming into the market if they haven't bought before.
So now what's the catalyst for having inventory sit longer? Is that because there's more inventory, there's less buyers, the higher interest rate, economic conditions? How does that get created?
I mean, it's definitely a combination of all factors that you just brought up, but I think the biggest one is the interest rates. So that's where we really need to focus on, is making sure that we have affordability, because if you don't have affordability, then there's nobody can buy, right? Besides the cash buyers. And so you will still have the cash buyers in any market, but it's, affordability and interest rates are a key factor right now that is causing issues. Because prices went up so high because we had interest rates that were very low post-pandemic, right? And so that allowed people, because really people don't buy property off the price of the property, the price tag. They say, I can afford this amount per month, and then they work off of that. And so now what happened is, when the interest rates were so low, that gave people this false ability to offer so much more for a property. And our property prices haven't really softened a ton. And so you still have those high prices, but now you have the high interest rates that just met up with that. And that's like choking our poor buyer pool.
So here's a question.
Sure.
People say that I'm going to wait for the interest rates to drop to buy.
Sure.
So the question is, if the interest rates drop, will the price increase? And you
It
missed out
might.
on that window of opportunity, right? Because you can buy at today's price with a higher interest rate, wait for the interest rates to drop, refinance and lower your payment.
Yes.
Or you wait for interest rates to drop, but you're taking the chance of that price going up.
Right. And not only the price going up, then the competition going up. And frequently, when
Mhm.
you're a first time buyer, you don't have a large interest rate, which means that you're kind of at the bottom of the offer pool if there's multiple offers.
Mm-hmm.
If that seller has an offer with 50% down, then they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be more likely to accept that offer with 50% down than they are with an offer with an FHA 3.5% down. And
Mm-hmm.
so these buyers that say, oh, I'm waiting for the rates to go down, they could have a really hard time once that happens. So one of my favorite lenders says, marry the house, date the rate. So,
There
you
you go. Marry the
can the
house
house
because
that
you're
you
in.
want on however
Yeah.
you can, the sooner the better, as long as it makes sense for you financially on a monthly basis. And
Right.
then
Right.
once it's time, then you can turn around and refinance.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. Now, we talked about your nationwide, your home ownership day that you use that day to update and talk about new trends. One of the new trends that's starting to surface is doing real estate transactions with blockchains and NFTs. Tell
Right.
us a little bit about that. I know it's still at its infancy,
It
but
is.
where do you think it's going, and how do you think it's going to evolve?
Well, one thing that I just saw, there was an article posted that Fannie and Freddie are now having to consider accepting cryptocurrency. So it's just been placed on their radar, which is a
Hmm.
huge thing. It's not
Hmm.
that they're for sure having to do it or any of that, but let's just
Right.
say it's on the agenda, you guys, which
Hmm.
is something that is really big for the cryptocurrency industry. And you'll find that it's just a new way of that people are holding and exchanging money. And so
Hmm.
anytime people are holding exchanging money, big amounts of money, then a lot of times real assets become involved. And so there's a lot of different things that are happening on various different blockchains that where people are starting to build out what are called smart contracts and working like a chain of title, for
Hmm.
example, on the
Right.
blockchain. And if you like, there's a lot of title fraud lately. There's a lot of land fraud. There's things out there that the blockchain could help solve. And so I'm trying to just stay on top of those different opportunities that I see. If I were to predict, we will likely be doing our real estate deals on the blockchain in the next 5 to 10 years, and
Mhm.
people will be buying property with cryptocurrency. There's also, I'm not sure what the bill is, but there's something out there right now where cryptocurrency can start to be considered as an asset for your down payment. Because before, if you were going to get a loan, but you have 5 Bitcoins, they won't count that as money. But what if all
Oh,
your money's
okay.
in Bitcoin? Now
Yeah.
you can't get a loan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's, this is slowly starting to change. And I saw this happen. I'm such an old goat. Like I saw this happen with FHA and doing digital signatures with DocuSign because there was
Oh,
a time, you guys, that you couldn't DocuSign with FHA, believe it or not. And so it's, I kind of like it seems like a parallel road. It's like,
right.
this is a new technology. We're afraid there might be fraud, there might be
Yeah.
this, there might be that, there might be bad players, actors,
Yeah.
all of that. And I think they're just finally starting to realize, no, this is what the consumer wants. So this is the
Right.
road I need to go down to serve the consumer. And I think you're going to see a lot more just blockchain transactions and cryptocurrency purchases. You have mentioned NFTs. One of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I like to do just for fun right now, NFTs are going to have a lot of utility someday.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as it could be like a potential ticket, an access pass, so to speak.
Right.
If you want to go to Sawdust Festival, you have an NFT instead of your, access pass. That's a piece of
Mm-hmm.
paper. But one of the fun things I'm doing is just minting a commemorative graphic of the exterior of my clients' homes when they buy or sell that. And I kind of stylize it with AI and, mint that on the blockchain
Mm-hmm.
and it's just something that they have as a digital token right now. But someday, I envision and I'm starting to work with utilizing these NFTs for access to vacation rentals.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think think of it like if you're a member at a golf club, right? You have to have that membership.
Right.
This is the way an NFT can equal a membership. And if you don't hold that NFT in your wallet, then you don't have access to that particular vacation rental or property or boat or van or whatever it might be.
Right.
So I'm very fascinated with the real world assets and how those tie in with this digital world.
Right. And they're forever evolving. So
Yes.
we got to keep up with that and see how
I
it goes.
know.
Tell us a little bit about title fraud and how you can avoid it.
Well, you definitely want to make sure that you have you check your resources. Like the real estate agents, we don't always get the ID of our seller or things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking to somebody and they're trying to tell you that they own vacant land and something smells fishy, dig into it. Make sure that you're working with the actual owner. There has been a lot of what they're doing lately is targeting vacant land because think about it, like you have property that's vacant land. You don't really have to do anything with that. You just hold it, right? And so you don't look at what happens on the title and things like that. But there are ways that it's a smart idea to check the title, check the tax records, all of those types of things. Make sure that somebody isn't trying to sell your property for you
Okay.
and take your profits.
But the title insurance would insure that. Is it not correct? That's why we have title insurance.
Well, supposedly, but sometimes there's different levels of title insurance. So you have to make sure you have the right title insurance. And every deal in California usually has a title agent involved, but or any that I do, right? Because I'm doing it on the professional level. But if you think about one neighbor trying to sell to another neighbor, things like that. So I guess the other thing is just have your professionals involved, you guys. Real estate is too big of a transaction and a consideration to be DIYing the whole thing. You can get burned badly.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. It's like it's a large purchase, and you should be careful and bring in professionals to help you execute it.
Yes.
So as we wrap up our interview, what exciting plans do you have for the next 6 or 12 months?
Gosh, that's a great question. Well, one of the things that's interesting about me is I work a lot with the shared economy, and so we are on the road probably half of the year. And I do my deals virtually from anywhere because I'm traveling with Starlink and things like that. So coming up just this month, we'll be up in Northern California, visiting a friend who flips boats. We will be in the Las Vegas area for Rare Evo, which is an NFT/blockchain conference. And then we have to go back to the Midwest for a 100th birthday party. So that's just like what's going on the next month. And all the while, I'm still helping with transactions in between. My laptop is always with me. My Starlink is always on. My phone is always on. And I'm constantly just seeking out cool new properties as we're driving across the country.
That's a true example of a virtual office per se.
Yes. And the reason why I do that, especially during the summertime, is because I vacation rental. My house is here in Southern California. So it's an example of how real estate works for me is I have property and I have other people paying my mortgages because I'm willing to share my property with that sharing economy and vacation rentals. And so the properties pay for themselves and I don't get access to them while that's happening, but I have access, you don't have it. It's not rented the whole time. It's not full-time rentals. It's vacation rentals. So
Right.
during the slower season, we come back and we work on the properties. And then during the busy season here in California, we do have longer term rentals in the Midwest. And so we drive
Mhm.
back there and work on the Midwest properties.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Angie, thanks so
Fun life.
much for sharing all these tips and
you.
resources that people can use. If somebody's listening and would like to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
I would say I'm best by text. Just text me at 949-338-7408. I'd love to hear about your real estate goals, any questions that you have, any ideas that this conversation or podcast might have inspired. Let's
Mhm.
connect and stay in touch.
Sounds good. Well, Angie, once again, thank you so much for coming on. And to our audience, please go to ocpowerplayers.com and follow us on your favorite channel. Thanks,
Thank you
Angie.
so much. I appreciate you having me on today, Danny. This is a great thing you're doing here in Orange County, and I'm looking forward to listening to more of your podcasts.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.